We spent the whole month of February down in Arizona, and on that trip, I really wasn't happy with the way that I packed all my camera gear. Last year, I kind of made this move towards minimalism, and I was trying to downsize my gear and downsize the amount of gear that I carry with me on a trip, and I just brought way too much. I had this large Peak Design camera cube packed full of gear, and it really led to a lot of decision fatigue when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to bring on a hike, or if I had to go film a YouTube video, what lens should I use? So after that trip, I decided to reorganize all of my gear and just try and make my kit a little more modular and a little more minimalist, so I could just grab exactly what I need for each shoot and not have a ton of extra gear weighing me down. So after a few hours of reorganizing, I think I actually have stuff set up in a way that I really like, and it lets me stay as minimalist as possible, but then easily add in extra pieces of gear that I might need for different shoots. So I'm gonna run you through everything that I have set up for the year ahead. Some stuff that never really goes in bags. This is my Fujifilm X100VI, and this is kind of my everyday walk around camera. It's almost always over my shoulder, or sometimes I'll just throw it in whatever bag I'm carrying that day, but it doesn't really get packed away because this is a camera that I grab for all kinds of candid stuff throughout the day. Another thing that's not packed often is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Normally it's just packed in its own case like this, and it's easy. It can float around the truck like this, or I can throw it in some other smaller bag. But again, this camera we grab all the time just to film little clips when we don't want to bust out the bigger cameras. So this kind of stays like this. This little bag is just full of chargers and cables for AA batteries, camera batteries, but I don't really need to bring this on every shoot. Normally I'm charging stuff at home. I just grab this if we're traveling and I need it on the go. So one of the problems in Arizona is that I had this large camera cube and I felt like I had to fill it. I had a bunch of different lenses and a bunch of camera accessories that I didn't actually end up using. So this has been repurposed into what I'm just gonna call Overflow Kit. And inside of here we have gear that's not used as often, but I still need it for shoots occasionally. So there's my 70-200 lens. We have a macro lens in here. I have my Rode Wireless Pro mics. Lately I've been using this DJI, the mini mics for my YouTube stuff, but I like these for client work because you can plug a lav mic into them. We have a couple of A clamps. There is a 35 f2.8 lens. Amanda actually really loves this lens because it's so small and compact and it's light. She uses this for a lot of her food photography and blogging type photos. And then we have a bunch of smaller accessory stuff for rigging out my Sony mirrorless camera into a bigger camera rig with a monitor and a battery on the back. Sometimes I use that for clients, but when I'm shooting YouTube, it's really just a lens, a camera, and a mic on a tripod. Now onto my main camera bag. We're still using the Peak Design backpack. I think this is their 30-liter travel backpack. And it's really just kind of an empty shell with some small pockets up front. And inside you can fit these camera cubes. So I use those to divide my gear and kind of keep it modular. Let's start up front real quick. In here, just a couple business cards and some extra straps to hold the tripod onto the side of this bag. In this inner pocket, we have these little baggies. These are Rezip. They're like reusable plastic bags. And this is just cleaning stuff for my camera. In this one, I have some cleaning fluid and then lens cloths that can be used for anywhere on the camera or even my laptop. But then I keep one separate that's just lens only. And these cloths are really only used for the front and back of lenses, so they stay clean a lot longer and I don't have to replace them as often. And then everything else in this bag is in camera cubes. This is one of Peak Design's small cubes. In here, see, I have it labeled just with a piece of gaffer tape and a metallic Sharpie. This is my Strobe kit. In here we have some A clamps, tiny ones that are just clipped to a piece of folded over gaffer tape, just to keep them all organized. This is my trigger for to connect my flash to my camera. Some AAA batteries for the trigger. We have a spare Profoto battery for my flash. And then this is the Profoto B10. This is my workhorse flash. If I'm just bringing one light, it's this one. If I need more lights for certain client projects, I have some older battery-powered Profoto Acute units that stay in my closet. But this is the one I always grab first. And then this is the front face of a big 5-foot Octabank that I just keep in here to add some extra diffusion to my light modifier or throw over a window. It's always good to just have some white fabric. Oh, and then one more thing in here, Apple AirTag. If you've been following this channel, you know back in the fall I had a camera bag with about $7,000 worth of gear stolen. I never got that bag back and my insurance chose not to cover it. So I bought a ton of AirTags and they're kind of scattered everywhere in all of my gear now. I know they're not anti-theft, but they could help. That's it for the strobe kit, and if I don't need it, I can just leave this whole kit out and then I just have my base camera kit in this bag, and I can use this upper space for anything else I might need to carry, jackets or the Osmo or things like that can go up here. And then this is a Peak Design medium cube, and this has what I just call my base camera kit. This is all the stuff I need to shoot photos if I'm not using flash, just natural light photos. I can shoot my YouTube videos with everything that's in this kit, and I can shoot kind of basic client videos with the stuff that's in here. So, right now the camera that we're shooting on is obviously missing from this spot, but I set it up so I can have a camera and one lens. My old setup in Arizona, I had to take the lens off every time. That was another thing that annoyed me every time I had to pack or unpack my gear. So I can leave a lens on. I have a little rocket air blower just for cleaning my sensor, cleaning the front of my lenses. These are super handy. I keep a couple of my most commonly used lenses in here. This is the Sony 50mm f1.2. This is one of my all-time favorite lenses. I use this for a ton of my portrait work. I love it in low light. I love it for landscapes. This is probably the lens that's on my camera the most. And then you'll notice I just have like little gaffer tape on all my stuff. This holds this aperture ring from clicking. A lot of times I will tape over the AF, the autofocus manual focus button, because there have been a lot of times where I've gone to manual focus to shoot something like star photos and then forget to change it back to auto and shoot a video the next day and the whole thing's out of focus. So I'll put a piece of tape over that to keep it in autofocus, and then if I pull that tape up to change it to manual, I'll leave the tape kind of dangling off the lens to remind me to put it back into autofocus. And then on this 50, we have a Polar Pro Defender lens cap, and then inside here, we have a little hidden AirTag. Back. Another lens that we use a ton, the Sony 24-105 f4. This is probably our most common video lens. It covers a big range. I actually don't use the upper end often, so I would love to downsize this to the new Sony 24-50, just much smaller and lighter, and I think that would cover most of the stuff that we shoot for video, and it would give us an f2.8 instead of an f4. Again, all the switches and stuff taped up. We also have a Deity shotgun mic. A lot of Amanda's videos, she just likes using the shotgun. She doesn't like setting up the little mics. So I keep that in there. I keep my DJI Osmo Mini kit in here. This is just a windscreen for the shotgun mic, and then a top handle for my camera. I use this, helps steady handheld camera footage. We have a bag with a bunch of Sony batteries and a USB-C to C cable. And that cable, paired with this small rig VB99 V-mount battery, can charge my Sony, my Fuji, my phone. Pretty much any of the gear that we carry can be charged with this USB-C port. Small roll of gaffer tape, comes in handy for all kinds of stuff. Up here we have a variable ND filter, pretty crucial for shooting video. We have a circular polarizer, and then we just have some extra front cover lens caps and camera body cap and a rear lens cap. And in this last little pocket, camera strap with a few extra Peak Design toggles, so I can connect this to pretty much anything that I need to carry with a strap. Some headphones if I need to monitor my audio, a little SD card case, and another AirTag. So if someone steals this, maybe they find one of these and throw them away, but the little hidden one in the Polar Pro cap still lets me know where they are. So that's it for this base camera kit. The camera we're shooting on right now, like I said, also fits in here. That's the Sony a7 IV, and right now I'm shooting on the Sony 20mm f1.8 lens. So that stuff will go in here as well. The tripod I'm shooting on can fit in one of these side pockets on this backpack. And then I pretty much have a kit that covers most photo stuff and all my YouTube stuff with this. If I'm doing photos with Strobe, I can grab that. And then if I need accessory stuff, I can grab some of the stuff out of this large cube or just grab this whole cube and throw it in the truck. There is some other gear I didn't cover. I have, like I said, the flashes are just stored in my closet. And then I have a bin of just small camera accessory stuff, extra tripod plates, tools, things like that. That's all just stored in the closet as well. And I think that's it. That covers all the gear that I typically bring with me on a shoot. I will link to this camera bag and these cubes and maybe some of this other accessory stuff down in the description below. And if any other questions come up, please ask them in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks.